Survivor specialist Phil and Will are back along with Alexa again. This is going to be our last preseason Game Changers Survivor video. But before we get to that, I want to say Will is a much better podcast partner with me in terms of like our camaraderie. On my birthday, he posted that it was my birthday and I got a bunch of stuff. I forgot to post it was his birthday. But yesterday was Will's birthday, everybody. So make sure you address that it was Will's birthday yesterday. I forgot to tweet it out.
Yeah, I was actually I didn't want to check yesterday because I'd be like, when is Phil going to say anything? And then today I checked, you had it. I'm like, whatever. It's not my birthday anymore. I can't complain. Because if yesterday I had looked and I didn't see it, I could, try to egg you on a little bit. But I wanted to be straight from your heart, and apparently it wasn't there.
You know what? It really took me looking you in the eyes and seeing how much older you look to be like, you know what? He did have a birthday. I got to put him up.
Yeah. Well, I've been snowboarding all day, so I just have wind scars everywhere. I guess I don't know.
And a new haircut.
And a new haircut, yeah. Big things are happening at 25. Once you hit 25, you're,
You're a new man.
Exactly.
That's it. So before we get into this, I just want to say for the Eliminator Challenge, the people who donated to Kickstarter, there's 5 of you who still haven't gotten back to me about the Eliminator Challenge, although I think Nikolai Harron.
Adam.
Yeah, Adam is one of them, but I think Nikolai Harron actually did get back to me, and I know I said his name wrong, even though he gave me a pronunciation, but sorry. You're one, Doris Lowe, Will Holston, Mark Dean, and, of course, Adam Klein. So Adam might be last to the party here, but those are the 5 I haven't heard from yet. So get it in by March 7th, the Tuesday before the premiere. And, if you beat –
this is how we know Adam – this is how he wins all these things. He waits to the very last second until he has all the information. He even said that in his Reddit AMA. That's how he does it. So, I wouldn't be surprised if it's like a minute before the premiere starts, and you'll get a boot list, a prop bet, and the eliminator from Adam.
And it'll all be signed Zeke. So
I don't get it. I don't get that one.
Well, because I'm saying Zeke's on the show, so it'll be cheating. Clearly.
Oh, signed Zeke. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, you got a lot of happy birthdays in the chat here, Will.
Cool.
So good job.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody.
All right, well, that was all I wanted to say. What do you have to say there, Will? What's your housekeeping here?
My housekeeping is it's a little bit good news, a lot of bad news coming. I am unfortunately not going to be able to podcast for Survivor Game Changers. It's very unfortunate. Phil is crying. Basically, everyone who knows Phil and I, they know us as people who talk about Survivor, and that's something we love to do. But it's probably my number 2 priority in life, behind number 1, my job and making money and putting a roof over my head, feeding myself. So I'm going to be doing a lot of traveling and won't be able to do it. So Alexa's going to fill in, and I'll pop back in when I can. But it's going to be really tough to do if we didn't fully put Alexa in. So that's, it's a bummer. It sucks. Phil and I, we've been doing this. I remember we did it before I even ever had a job, and it was hard to find a time to do it and get good internet. My work has me overseas at times, and it's going to be just a mess. And Phil works really hard too. He only has probably 5 hours on that Wednesday when he can do it, or probably 4. Like, it's right after the episode airs. And if I'm sleeping or if I have something to do, it would just kind of ruin our whole show if we're not putting out, episode recaps when people want them. And Alexa does a fabulous job. So it's really a bummer. This will be my last podcast for some time. But, yeah.
Yeah, and we're not going to read – we're going to do comments again today, but we're not going to read too much about Will. Or we're not going to read anything about Will. Him leaving – I know this is going to be huge. And when I found this out, I was dreading this moment. Because me and Will – we've put in a lot of effort for 2 years pretty much. And I'm losing my other half, It's depressing.
You're getting a much better other half, I think.
My much better. And so it's going to be Alexa, and we have gotten good feedback on Alexa, and it worked out that she came on our show and filled in that we did not know that this was going to happen. And then Will dropped this on me, and he's lucky I even still talk to him. But no, I'm not leaving. And Alexa, she's now we signed her into a contract, so she can't bail. She's stuck forever and ever. But I think Alexa will do good. You still have me. Well. I'll keep her in place.
Well. Who's going to check your grammar?
Nobody.
I promise I will be, Phil, I will be actively checking your grammar. I can promise you one thing, and it's that.
Yeah. So, I mean, we still have Alexa. Alexa's pretty much just a female Will. They're like the same person.
Yeah, you could say that.
Exactly.
Yeah. I like that. I'll take that.
Yeah, I'll take it. We look exactly alike.
Alexa just texted me, "I hate you" with like 85 exclamation points. So I guess she doesn't like being referred to as the female Will.
Will, I hope to be half the podcaster that you are. I'm super excited to be joining the team full time.
You're gonna have to be more than half, I think. You're gonna have to.
This is the nicest you guys have ever been to me. So this is exciting for me. But Will, you and Phil started something really great, and I'm excited to keep it going with you guys.
Well, I don't know what we would do if we didn't have Alexa. So it kind of worked out great, and she's been doing a great job all preseason. If you haven't checked out our prop bet game, our fantasy draft, I think our fantasy draft is like one of the best podcasts we've ever put together. So aside from all the interviews, but those are totally different. So let's get into this. We don't need to dwell on this too much. Like I said, Phil and I, this isn't like the only thing we do. We both do other things that we like have to do, which suck. We wish we could be like Rob C and just like podcast all day about Survivor, but maybe we'll get there, but we're not there yet. So
yeah, and that's the goal, man. And then when that happens, work can no longer affect us, right? Then we're just living the dream.
And nothing will be in our way. So
exactly. And I know who's going to take this the hardest, and it's going to be Gamer Girl. So I'll give a quick shout out to Gamer Girl. Gamer Girl, we'll still, we're still here for you. We know you love Will more. I know, I've accepted it, but we're still here for you.
That's probably most of the listeners, actually. No, I'm kidding. I can't make jokes like that anymore. It's like
no, because
I'm throwing you guys under the bus. Yeah, no, I can't do that. I'm probably the worst out of the three of us. So good thing I'm leaving.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say that, but I don't want to make bad jokes now because I'm upset. All right. Winner ranking. So this is just like a little fantasy game we're throwing in for really no reason, just to replace some preseason power rankings, because what fun is that? So I think Alexa and I are also going to announce our eliminator pick tonight. Will, you like – so,
I'm jealous. Yeah, I have an eliminator pick.
Yeah, so it's going to be Phil and Alexa who are doing the eliminator. So for anybody who is doing the eliminator game, those people who donated, you're against me and Alexa. If you beat both of us, you end up winning. You win a buff. So that's fun.
Are you going to announce your eliminator pick? Shouldn't you wait to get them all in so that you guys can strategize and beat them?
Well, I think I know who I'm going to take anyway. I think I've already decided. These first rounds before the thing starts, I'm getting a lot of random ones, and I'm okay with it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm okay with it. But in terms of winner pick, we are just ranking these people right now, and we've talked about them to death, so this probably won't be too long. We'll get to some comments. But we're just ranking them who has the least amount of chance to win all the way to who has the most amount of chance to win, in our opinion.
The highest.
And whoever ends up with the person in the highest position that actually wins, they win. That's it. It's simple. It's just something kind of fun to look back on after the season starts and be like, well, I had that person at 20th, and then they go on to win. I thought they had zero chance to win, and then they did it. So,
got it. Who wants to start it off? You know what? I'll start it off because I won't be talking for a while. So I'll just
Will,
I'll talk
after
over you guys.
you, Will.
You won't have to put up with this again. I'll just interrupt you.
Yeah,
like crazy.
we won't argue a single point you make tonight.
Oh well, that's no fun.
That's not going to happen either.
One more thing before we get into this. Go give us a 5-star rating on iTunes. I put the link in the description. Everyone's been really good about subscribing. We have only 45-star ratings on iTunes. We were going to get to 100, we hoped, so that we could double the amount of buffs that we're giving out. It's pretty easy to do. You just got to click 5 stars. You don't have to write anything. So I want to give out, 5 buffs total, but, what can we do? Get your 5-star iTunes reviews in. Okay.
What is it if they hit 2,000, we just give one more to which game?
The prop bet game. That's the higher upper echelon game. It requires more work to fill out an entry. I think it's harder for us to score. It just requires more effort from everybody all around. So more buffs. Okay, so the way I did my rankings was it was like, who doesn't have a chance even if they get to the end, no matter what? And there's only one real player who I think has zero chance to win this game, a la Spencer. It's Ty. I have Ty at 20 because even if he gets to the end, I don't see him winning. And we got to talk to Julia a little bit about Ty's final tribal council performance. And it was kind of like what we thought. He couldn't articulate not only his game, but even get like the words out and really sell himself in what he did. And there was a headline that I saw, I didn't read the full article, where Ty said something like, I didn't flip, or I wasn't a flip-flopper. You would have flipped on Jason Scott if you were working with them too. Like, I'm going to play a better game. And I think he can play a better game. I think he's learned. But I still don't think you can overcome him speaking to the jury at Final Tribal Council. So I got him at 20.
Yeah, I have Ty at 22, and pretty much everything you
22? There's only 20 players.
He is that far back.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, I have him there because, like, I just
Phil
don't.
did not get that joke, I don't think.
No, I got it.
Oh,
Wasn't
okay.
that funny?
Oh.
22.
Right.
I get it. Will. I get it. Hopefully that's your last bad joke. But anyway,
It won't be.
Wait, this is gonna be a long podcast.
But yeah, I just have them there. Same reasons you kind of said. Julia kind of convinced me. My bottom three are all co-wrong people. So
Wow.
My bottom three are all co-wrong as well.
Whoa.
Wow.
And there was no collusion at all. I had Debbie at number 20 and I had Ty at 19. Honestly, they're both, I have the same reasoning for both of them. Ty, the difference is we've actually seen him in a final tribal council, like Julia and like Will and like Phil said. We've seen him try and we saw it, not work. I don't envision him having a strong final tribal council this go around. And I certainly don't expect the same out of Debbie. I think the main difference between Ty and Debbie is it seems like Ty has a decent relationship, at least with other players, and Debbie seems to be going in guns a-blazing, and I think that's rubbing people the wrong way. I don't think she'll even make its final tribal council, and if she makes it, I really don't expect her to do well.
I have Debbie at 19. I just don't see where Debbie makes it to the end and gets votes. Like, I just don't see people actually voting for Debbie against. She'd have to be sitting there against like two. She's just out there. I don't think people really bond with Debbie on like a real level that they're going to give her votes. And I think that's kind of what happened to Aubrey and Korong, what we got from Julia at least. And that's why Michelle won. And I don't think Debbie ever makes enough of a bond with anybody to get votes over other people in this game. But I think she has a little bit better of a chance than Ty just because Ty went out there and just was all over the place. And I just don't think his head is ever going to understand the strategy of this, really.
I'm just surprised you guys have Debbie both so low. I'm not saying her chances are high, but I have players, I have a good amount of players that I think have a lesser chance than Debbie. I'll get to them, but don't you think if Debbie realizes her mistakes from Korong, and because I think if you look at that Brains tribe in Korong, she was the head. She was the one getting people together. She blindsided Liz. She, I think, was in a really good spot, and we first saw it was 4 against 2, like the young people against Joe and Debbie. She turned that around. I think she's got some game chops to her. So I'm excited to see if Debbie can bring it. Definitely not highest, but to have her bottom 3, I don't think so. Now I hope Debbie wins, and I'll win the whole game. I'll win this fantasy game pretty easily.
Well, and if Ty wins, Alexa wins. So there you go.
That's true, but
playing the system.
Who you got at 19?
We should have snaked this.
We should have. I think we all have our list done, right? No editing your list after hearing what people say.
No,
I know Phil does that a lot, so we got to keep an eye.
You love saying that. I don't. Yeah, I edit it. Whatever you say, I do the opposite so that I can win.
Will, who do you have at 19?
At 19, it really hates me to say this. This is my favorite Survivor of all time. It's Tony. Tony's not winning Survivor Game Changers. If anyone thinks that and is hoping for that, I'm very sorry. And I bet you there's a lot of people who remember Tony and love Tony. They see the ad on TV. They're like, I love Tony, and he's going to go pretty darn early, I got to imagine. And even if he makes the merge, how does Tony get to the end? How do they let him get to the end? I don't see it happening. And I think the only way someone like Tony could win, where if you play a really aggressive game and lie a bunch and like he planted that idol clue on Jeremiah and all these things, you can only do that again if you can also win a bunch of challenges in a row, maybe find an idol here or there. Tony cannot win an individual immunity challenge. Like, he never did. I don't think he can against this group of players. That would be the only way that he could get to the end, is maybe win 3 or even 4 immunity challenges at some point using idols in between. It's not happening. So I got Tony at 19. And I love Tony.
Yeah, I think especially considering his build, you think that he could be a challenge there, but he was never particularly a challenge beast in his first go around. I think the only reason I wouldn't rank him so low is because the people I have at the bottom won't make its final tribal, and God forbid they do, they don't win it. if Tony, by some grace of God, gets into the final tribal council, I think he could win.
He would, for sure.
So that's the only reason I can't have him at my second to last. But I really get where you're coming from because I don't see him surviving the first 5 episodes.
See, but the only person I had that I think, if they get to the final tribal, can't win, that's Ty for me. That's the only person I think that applies to. So that's why I have Ty at 20, and then I have Tony right after. So,
and that's where I'm looking at it too. I have Ty as the one person who can't get to the end and win. I think Tony, like you said, if he gets to the end, he wins, and that's why I have him at 17. So I'll jump ahead a little bit. I mean, we don't need to be like too dramatic with this. We talked about him so much. I'm at 17 because Tony gets the end, he wins. There's no way though, with how aggressive his gameplay is, anybody lets him get anywhere near the end. He's just too aggressive. They're gonna find a way to get rid of him. He's gonna be everybody's number one target for too long. He looks big and threatening. You know, somebody like Parvati, she uses her looks to get, to help her. But people are, they don't realize how much of a threat that actually is until it's too late. Somebody that looks like Tony, they know right away, like, okay, this is just too much of a threat. He's aggressive and he looks aggressive. And even though he can't win a damn challenge, he just looks aggressive. So I'm at 17. And at 18, speaking of people who look like they should be able to win challenges and just ends up dying at challenges, I have Caleb. And everything I've read and seen and everything like that, it's pretty much like Julia says he has really no chance. Then I read people who watched him on Big Brother were like, he will never win a reality show because he's just not good. So I'm just like, Caleb's not going to win. And if he gets to the end, he might be likable, but I don't think he's going to make any game moves. We didn't get to see enough of him, and I just don't think anybody's going to respect him enough to get him there all the way to the end.
Phil, you totally stole my thunder on Caleb at number 18 because that's exactly where I have him too. And we actually didn't even talk about this beforehand. He's never been to a tribal council, and all of these pregame articles that I've read about him, he doesn't think that Sandra or Tony are game changers. And I'm all for controversial opinions, but it seems like he doesn't even understand why they are good players. And if you can't have that kind of understanding on a season with so many threats, I can't see you going far. Julia doesn't know anyone that he could align with other than Ty. And yeah, we don't know him well. He doesn't seem to particularly connect with anyone. I really, really do not think he'll do well.
Yeah, do you even think that if Caleb gets to the end that Survivor would want to, crown a Big Brother player? I mean, I know Natalie won and she was on The Amazing Race, but Survivor and Big Brother are much more similar. And I don't know, there might be something
like
Hayden
on Big Brother?
Hayden was on Big Brother.
Yeah.
But this is like Survivor game changers where you have legends of Survivor and have a Big Brother player come in, get to the end, and then win. I just don't know if he can get votes that way. I agree with what you're saying. I do have him a little bit lower just because from what we saw on our screens in Koran, people got along with him. I know Julia said it wasn't him that was going to be the next voted out. Like, it was going to be Ty or Nick if Beauty went to tribal council. So he at least, from what Julia told us, would have survived if Beauty had gone to 2 tribals. So take that for what you want. I think if he gets to the end, there's a chance he at least wins. And he's unknown, but he's not unknown like Zeke or Michaela. So he won't get that label. Zeke and Michaela will eat up all that the devil you know versus the devil you don't know talk, which we'll probably hear. Caleb, it's like, okay, he's at least played before, so I have him a little bit high.
Well, who do you have at 18 then? Because we've gone through ours.
I have Sierra, and I've talked about Sierra a lot. She plays so hard and wears the game on her sleeve, tells people to make big moves, and she's not helping you out in the challenges. And I really, ever since she got cast, it was, her, Sari, Aubrey were the people I immediately were like, this is not the best season to come back for. Aubrey, I've warmed up to a little bit just because she is stronger at challenges than I remembered. I rewatched Koran. So, and she's just a more subtle player. And Sari's just, she talked about her. She's a massive legend and threat. So I got Sierra at 18.
So you mean Sierra Dawn Thomas, right?
No.
You need to clarify on your Sierra's Sari
I think people
situation.
who listen to my pre-game talk, I have been pretty low on Sierra voted out her mom, Easton, for a pretty long time.
Yeah, I don't want to jump too far ahead, but because I already did my 17 because it was Tony, but my 16 is Sierra. Now I don't have anything to add to Will.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
My 16 and 17 are flipped. Yeah, Tony and Sarah as well.
Okay, what order do you have it?
I have Tony at 16, Sarah at 17.
I'm surprised we did have the same bottom. We talked about this before, and Alexa was like, I think we're all going to have the same bottom 5. I'm really surprised me and Alexa did. I didn't think you'd have Caleb or Debbie back down there.
Yeah,
I think just because when I was coming up with my list, I kind of the way how Will started it. I was thinking, can they make it to final tribal or can they win it? And when I put those two, I mean, that's the same mentality.
Well, lost you for a second there. Alexa's also getting better internet, guys. Don't worry, it's coming.
I'm working on the better internet. I promise.
It's happening. But yeah, no, I feel you. I'm surprised. Will, who are your 17 and 16? Since you don't,
so I have 17. I have Sandra, and is Sandra going to win 3 times? Come on.
You're going to see.
If she does, where do you go from there if Sandra wins again?
Quit the show. Turn it off.
You cancel the show.
No. Alexa's time podcasting is very short.
It was a nice run.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna say that like with Sandra,
Defender,
I have her.
Phil.
What?
Defender, yeah. Put up a
I
Sandra.
have Sandra way higher, and I'll get to like what number she's actually at, but I have her way higher. And my whole thing with Sandra is she plays the perfect game to get to the end. And yeah, she's going to come out with a huge target on her back, but I feel like people are going to get out there, sit down next to Sandra, and they have the ability to sit down next to her and forget how good she is because she's not Tony. Because he is so aggressive and so in your face. And as the game plays out, people are going to come up as villains, as people that aren't in your alliance. And Sandra plays such good games to get to the end. And if she sits in the final 3, she's going to shut out whoever she's sitting there next to. I really believe that because you cannot deny greatness at that point. Like, you just can't. So I have Sandra way higher than you have her.
See, I agree with that argument, but way higher. That's where because I agree with everything you're saying. I just don't agree on the position you're putting. Because I don't understand. Like, if she wins one time, then yeah, okay. That's what happened here versus villains. She got to the end and won. To do it twice and people to overlook that, I just don't really see it happening. I really don't.
I'm meeting you guys in the middle here. I don't have her significantly higher, but I do have her higher than I intended to. I was reading, I think it was another article. She said something along the lines of, I can make it to day 3, I can make it to day 39. And that's the game that she plays. And she's on the same tribe as Tony. And who are you going to take out first, Tony or Sandra? So she doesn't have a long shelf life, but God, I want her to.
Well, who's your 16 now? Jump to that one.
Caleb, don't need to talk about it. I got Caleb above Sandra. This is still one spot.
Wow. Okay, well, I'll jump to my 15. I have.
Well, I'll do 15. I'll interrupt you. I'll do 15.
Oh, I already did it.
I have Debbie. So we already talked about Debbie. I just want to even up with where hitting people you've already talked about. I think Debbie has a little bit higher chance than you guys had because she was kind of a player in the pre-merger go-wrong. And she's likable, I guess, if she can make some relationships. And she's kind of quirky. But if she makes moves and has strategy and get to the end, then she can win.
I have JT because I just think JT falls in the middle of Tony and Sandra for me. Tony is so aggressive. He'll never let people forget how good of a player he is. Sandra is so nonchalant that people could forget. JT, I feel like, could kind of lull people, but he's also smart enough, or he's also too smart that he's still a big threatening figure. I mean, if you look at Sandra, you have to show up on that island, and when you actually meet Sandra for the first time in person, you have to say, how did this woman win twice? That has to be what goes through your mind when you finally see Sandra. Just because
people like the other reasoning, because I've heard Fishbox say this about Michelle. Like, the second you meet Michelle, you're like, oh my God, I get why you won. And when we met Michelle briefly, I had that feeling too.
Adam said the same thing. Adam said he hung out with her once, and he was like, of course she won.
Yeah, and I think with these people that win, and you're kind of like, why did they get votes? How did they do it? I think you have to meet them. And so this is where I disagree with you on Sandra. I think once you meet Sandra, you might be like, wow, it all makes sense now. She's even a bigger threat. I can't believe you have her, you think she has a better chance of winning than JT?
Yeah, I do.
I disagree with you there.
I have JT a good bit higher.
Well, he was your first fantasy pick. Alexa. So you better really.
Yeah, so I'm all in. I'm all in on JT, but unfortunately, I think a lot of people see JT as the heroes versus villains JT rather than the winner JT. And I think that works to his advantage so much.
No, I agree with you. I agree. I just think, like, this is really hard. I was pretty confident.
You're wrong on this.
On my bottom 5, I was confident. After that, I'm really not, because I have a good reason why all these players can win and why they all can't. I think a lot of people on the season can win, which is very rare. It's harder when you've seen them play. And I think JT, though, people are just going to find a reason to vote him out, and he's not going to find his way to the final 3. He's good at challenges. He's not all that great either. He's better at
That's a good thing.
Yeah, but people are going to take him out at some point. That's what I'm saying. This is going to be
I honestly think JT is going to.
I really believe that.
I think JT is going to. Go ahead, Will.
I just can't believe you think Sandra has a better chance of being crowned the winner of the season than JT. I think JT's up. I mean, I don't have him super high, but you look at the people who won in this season, it's like Tony and Sandra are on a different level than JT. They just are. I don't understand how. I don't understand it, Phil.
No, it's fine.
Good thing I'm leaving you with Alexa, because she can talk some sense into you.
Hey, you can do whatever you want. By the way,
let Alexa finish. Phil, stop interrupting Alexa.
No, I'm just going to say, if you're in the chat and you're trying to post spoilers or you're even trolling about spoilers, stop, or you don't count for the boot list or the prop bets, because then we just assume that you actually do know spoilers, so screw it. You're done. Just saying.
Yeah, spoilers are not cool. I'm not.
Phil just always reads the live chat instead of
paying attention to our values.
I'm paying attention to what you guys are saying. You're making a good point. You're making a good point.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think I said this in the last podcast. I think JT is going to be pretty under the radar at the beginning, make it to the merge, and then people will think, oh crap, JT's won before, he needs to go, and it'll be like a quick little vote out for him. I mean, if both JT and Sandra make it to the final tribal council, Sandra probably wins, but I think his chances of making it there are a little higher than hers. So that's where I'm at.
I don't think any of the winners are going to hit the final 3. Like I don't. I think if they get far enough into the game, people are just going to be like, get rid of them. I just think that's going to happen.
Yes, I agree.
Good. Did you guys do your 15? Or 15, so we're good.
I didn't hear what you said. What was your 15?
Sorry, I have Sandra at 15, and that conversation has already been had.
Death. Who's your 14?
14 is Ozzy. 14, I mean, Ozzy, he's not. I've moved past the people who can't make it to Final Tribal Council and can't win. He's been in Final Tribal. He didn't win. I'm really unimpressed by all of his pregame content. He's such a major threat. Has never been great at the social game. I really do not envision Ozzy winning.
No, I have Ozzy at 13. I don't see him winning, and I'm actually going to say Ozzy is my eliminator pick for the first week, and that might make Will really mad.
Whoa! No, I don't care.
I'm just saying, Ozzy, I feel like is a safe bet that he's not going to be one of the first 2 votes, but I'm telling you, this guy is going to be 10th to 15th. Like, it's just going to happen. So I have him 1 spot higher than Alexa, but not much. And I feel pretty confident with him as an eliminator, because with that game, you try to kind of go with the people who are going to go early on. And instead of taking a chance on a Sari or a Sandra or a Tony, I'm like Ozzy, because I don't see him making it deep into the merge at all. So it's not going to be a pick that comes to bite me because he's in final 5 or final 6.
I think Ozzy makes. I mean, this isn't a boot list, so it's not going to come bite you unless he wins. So I have Ozzy. He was won the Mini Challenge away from winning South Pacific, right? So he's
much different season though. Those are people who praise Ozzy.
Very different seasons.
Much different season, but that was the last time he played, and we're ripping on him for his. I mean, when we rip on Ozzy, it's because of his Micronesia game where he got really cocky, blindside with an idol. That's all we're really talking. I mean, if you're going to say South Pacific's such a different season, you can't hold that against him for the way he played. And then if you look at Cook Islands, he got, 1 vote away from winning against Yule, who had the God idol the whole time. I mean, I'm higher on Ozzy than both of you have been all all preseason. That's why he's on my fantasy team. So I got him a little bit higher. I do think his chances of winning, it's going to be tough for him to win. But, hey, he could, if he gets the final 7 and then goes on a mini run, there you go.
Absolutely. And that's why I don't think people will let him get to final 7, though. There's always going to be a chance to get rid of Ozzy pre-merge.
Imagine if just like Tony is at final 8 and you have Sari at final 9.
God,
and you have JT at final 10. And you have all these other people and you have Malcolm there. And it's like, yeah, and then we have Haley and Sierra. Those are goats maybe. We got to get rid of them or else they're going to get a free ride over me. Hey, a lot of stuff can happen. So, I don't know. I got Sari at, 14?
Yeah.
I've talked about Sari a lot preseason. Unless she really does step up her challenge ability, I really think she's going to be they'll swap at 18 down to 3 tribes. I think she's going in that bunch after the first swap before the merge. I don't know why. I just have a feeling because she is such a threatening player. It's way too scary to let her get deep in the game, and she's not helping you out there to win immunity. So,
but she's newly svelte. She could win immunity.
I just don't see it.
I have her way further up, actually, which
surprised
me.
Oh wow, you've Sandra and Sari significantly higher than us.
I do, but I didn't mention who my 14 is, and I have. This one is really surprising. I don't know why I put them here, but Will said we can't change it, and I must have done this when I was drunk. But I put this here. I think my main reasoning behind this is because of the Russell factor, and I have Zeke. And I think that between him and Michaela, I actually think Zeke is going to fit in better than Michaela. I do think that he's going to be able to get along with people, but I think people are going to be so wary of him because they know nothing about him that they're going to think he's like hiding something, that he's extra sneaky. They're going to think he's doing stuff behind the scenes that get him brought back, and it's actually going to hurt him. And I really just don't think he has any chance to get to the end, like at all.
So you're stealing my argument I've made all preseason?
I mean, I don't really. Well, like you said, I don't listen, so I guess I can't be stealing your arguments.
That's true. That's a good point.
That is an extremely good point.
Yeah.
At 14, I have Sari also, and then she's.
But you had Ozzy at 14.
Oh. No, I had Ozzy at 15.
You had Sandra at 15.
Okay, crap. Okay, yeah, I'm ahead. Sorry. I have Sari at 13.
There we go.
Sorry. Can't count.
Good thing I keep track. As you all know, Alexa taking over Will's spot. I will still be keeping track.
I do have my list right here, but I just can't read.
As long as you can talk, that's all you need to be able to do.
Yeah, I'm working on that part.
So, you want to say anything about Sari?
I have Sari at 13, and she's one of my favorite players of all time, and I know she's on my
really bad
league.
Fantasy pick, yeah.
Again, she's my horrendous fantasy pick in case anyone wasn't sure of that. So it pains me to put her so low. Grace of God, she makes it to the final tribal council, and she wins. I'd be the happiest person alive. But, as much as I joke about it, she's not going to get anyone anywhere in challenges. She is such a good social player, and everyone knows it. Everyone has seen it. She could get screwed by the tribe squad. She's such an easy threat, and she's not a winner in terms of threat level. And yeah.
I will say about Sari, though, if she does get to the end, she'll win. I don't know how she does that, but
I just don't know how she gets there.
Yeah,
because I don't see her winning individual immunity either.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I had Zeke at 14, is because I don't see him getting to the end, and I don't necessarily think that if he gets to the end, he's like a lock to win. And that's why I have Sari and Sandra higher, because I could see them accidentally getting to the end, and if they do get to the end, they win. Like,
you think
so
Sandra
could
guarantee
if they get to the end to win? Zeke isn't, so that's why I put Zeke below them, and JT. I don't know.
How does Sandra accidentally get to the end, though?
This is why I'm not.
How does she stumble backwards into the
final? Sandra, the 2 times.
Like, let's just let her in.
I'm in the final 3. I mean, she didn't do that twice.
She's going to do that same
thing. It's
dance.
sunnied here. You guys are making me like Charlie here. like you both just attacked me. That was scary.
Yeah, that was.
Who you got at 13?
At 13, I have JT, so now I'm that much lower than
screw you, man.
But you still haven't said Sandra yet, so it's just like. So that's the problem. I didn't have the problem with JT being low because I think his chances are low. but Sandra's chances aren't this high. So I have JT, most likely winner to win, in my opinion. We've already gotten into it. I'll go at, I guess this is 12. I got Zeke. A lot about what you said. I think I've said it the whole time, the new player is going to hurt him more than Michaela, because Michaela is the one who's so up front. And he might fit in, like you're saying, and then people will be like, wow, he's fitting in too well. Why do I like this guy so much? Why is he so charming? He's strategizing really well. He's playing like a game changer. This is threatening. This is scary. Got to get rid of Zeke. So could he win, Zeke? Yeah, I do think he could win. So this is, really entering the, I think I start with JT maybe. Now I'm getting into the people who are like, all right, they can win. They have a pretty good shot at it.
Yeah, mine started with JT too. It's just my JT was at 15 instead of 13.
Yeah. I have.
Okay. Oh, go ahead, Alexa. You want to do your number 12?
No, my number 12 is JT as well for reasons above.
Okay. Once again, you don't have the same pick as well. You keep saying as well as if you guys have the same pick, and you're always like.
Oh no, I'm saying as well, not as will.
Oh. Moving on. I have Varner at 12, and my whole reasoning behind Varner is I'm into the people who I really think can win, and I love Varner, and I really want Varner to win somehow. Because, I want him to at least hit the merge so we can see, him actually have a little fun. Because I feel like he would have a lot of fun if he hit the merge. But with Varner, he's proven to be a challenge liability. He looks like he's gained weight since the last time he played. And he's gotten a year older. And, man, there's just, a cloud hanging over this guy's head. And he's one of those people, if he gets to the end, he doesn't necessarily win. He's got to be sitting next to the right people because he is lippy. And, he was screaming at people in the last season, and that's why he got booted. So, I don't know. I'm so up in the air about Varner. I really want him to win, but that's why I got him at 12.
I really want Varner to win, too. I'm watching Australia right now, and I just saw his boot. I really want him to do well, and I want him to be on the jury because he did get he made the merge in Australia, and he got screwed by the tie mechanism.
The votes.
Yes, the past votes. I want him to do really well. So I'm with you, Phil. I'm rooting for Varner hard this season.
Yeah, so that's the guy I want to win, but I just don't see it get any better. And then I'll say my number 11, and I put Queen Sandra because I put her in the bottom half, but who am I to doubt her? So I put her at 11 because, if she does pull this off again, I want to be the one who sits here and says I put her at 11, guys. I believed in her, and I want her to like me because at that point, she'll just be the greatest of all time, and I want her in my corner.
I like putting her at 11 is considered believing in her, which with this cast, I get it.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I have. What number did you just say? 11.
I just said 11. I said 11. So
you're both at 11. I had Varner at 11. I think I actually have him. I have Zeke higher than I do for. I have Zeke higher than both of you do. I think I'm hoping because this is such a quick turnaround from Cambodia, he will learn from how Cambodia went to maybe quiet down a little, maybe play behind the scenes a bit. I really want him to win. I, at the very least, would like him to make the jury, but same reasons as you guys. I don't think he has zero shot of winning, but he does have a long path ahead of him if he wants to get there.
Yeah. Alrighty. Yeah, we keep going back on these players. We've talked about them. We've talked about them so much. This always happens the last podcast before the premiere. It's how much can we really get into everybody?
I will say our lists are more similar than I expected them to be.
Oh no, Alexa, you've fallen into the trap. You talk all preseason, you hear the same thoughts from the same people, and eventually you just grab them as your own. Me and Will do it every season. By this point, people are so tired of hearing, we're putting Aubrey at 18. We're putting this person, we had it identical almost. It just happened.
And Vaughn and I had the same final three. So it's
that was crazy.
It's Vaughn comes on and he listens to us. So, all right. At 11, I have Aubrey. I'm the first one to mention Aubrey, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? She was the most recent strategic player that this cast saw before going out to film. They saw Koron. I've said that about 1,000 times, but it's the truth. She is a really strategic player who had a very strong game in Koron. Not the best game. There was a game that was better than that. Michelle's, of course. But I just think if Aubrey can get by the first few, and if she makes the merge, then I like her to kind of sneak in, especially if there's other threats around. If she can have other threats kind of around her, some shields, then she's got, I think, a pretty decent shot. It's just going to be, if you're at Final 5 and you have Aubrey, or if you're at Final 6, just right that nitty gritty, she's really going to have to step up and win challenges if she's going to want to eventually get to the Final 3.
You know, and this is like kind of what I was saying with Sandra, and I think the same thing falls for Aubrey. At the very beginning, it's going to be, oh my God, look how good she was in her season, blah, blah, blah. If players make it far enough, their previous season goes away. And it becomes so much more just about what's going on in this season. It becomes a whole new game. Suri, a huge threat coming into fans versus favorites, made it to 4th place, showed she was a good strategist. She makes it far enough.
Strategist.
Huge slip. Sorry, I'm swallowing. Between her and Parvati, even in Heroes versus Villains, you see what happens. These people who are huge threats coming in because of what happened on a previous season, it starts to get less important after you've lived with them and bonded with them, and it becomes more about how can they help me or how are they hurting me.
Strategist.
Thanks, Will.
No, Phil, that was a good argument that unfortunately was overshadowed by strategist. When I first heard the cast announcement, I was pretty low on Aubrey for that exact same reason.
Oh man, Alexa.
It was the last season. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. How am I now?
I can hear you.
Okay. Train of thought is lost. I was low on her at first, played a good game in Koron. That's the last they saw before they left. But it sounds like never been said before, right? Yeah. It sounds like she was so willing to understand why she didn't win. And I think have too much pride to accept why they lost. And she sounds so enthusiastic as to why she lost. And she sounds like a great social player. I know we didn't really see it, but it sounds like she can make a connection with a lot of different people. And I have slowly grown on her. I don't have her much higher, but I see her doing fairly well.
Can we make fun of her for saying grown on her instead of she's grown on me? Kind of like you guys made fun of me for strategist.
Well, Alexa can grow on her, and then Aubrey. I
don't think Aubrey knows who Alexa is.
Oh, please.
Oh, well, now we're just going to nitty grit pick on everything.
Because you've never done that. Oh.
No, I know. I'm just now we're really going to answer.
All right, well.
I'll have to be very careful.
Numbers says I have Zeke at number 10 because I know we're funky about where our numbers are, and I have Aubrey at number 9.
Okay. I think that's good. I think I have to go on a run of a couple here.
We both have to do 2, Will. We haven't announced our 10 yet.
Okay, 10, I have Varner. Love the guy, rooting for him. If Varner gets into the merge, you got to like his chances to at least make Final 6. I don't know why you would unless he's really kind of pissing people off and being too loud. But I think he has learned from his Cambodia game. So we'll see how he shakes out. It's going to be – I mean, if he gets voted out pre-merge again, that's going to be pretty brutal. Would also be a little bit funny too, but I'd rather see him make the merge, and then he's in a pretty good spot. I have Michaela at number 9. I don't know how I feel about Michaela. I really don't, because you just don't know how she's going to fit in with this group of characters. We don't know how any of these people are really going to fit in, but out of everyone here, we saw Caleb the least. Then Michaela, out of the player we've seen least coming into the season, I think it's Michaela. And I don't know. I mean, she's really strong in challenges. I don't see her winning, but I don't know enough about her to say she won't win. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I got her. Yeah, I got her at 9.
All right. Well, my number 9 is also Aubrey. We pretty much talked about her. My number 10, and I knew that if this person wins the game, I wasn't beating Will. I am shocked Alexa hasn't said it. So I just figured I'll throw it in at 10. I do think he has a good chance to go deep. He's just not going to win. Brad Culpepper. I mean, he's one of those guys.
I love how no one said it yet. And when the season first came out, we would have put him at like 18. Like, there's no way anyone's voting for him.
And it's not even listening to you, Will. It's his game stuff has actually been pretty good.
Like, who called it? When did we do our fantasy draft before preseason started or after?
Yeah, that's why you got him, because you were still delusional.
No, I was the one saying, hey, this guy could change it up and really be self-aware and learn. He wasn't all that bad in Blood vs. Water. So I had foresight.
Wow. Yeah, and if you think about it, like Jeff's cast assessment, which I don't know if any of you guys watched, he did like, who he thinks can win and all that. And what he pretty much said with Culpepper is this is a guy who was really humbled in his season. And like they show the clip of like Candace yelling at him, and it's kind of like true. Like he really was like kind of put in his place, and I doubt he'd ever really had that happen to him. And so we'll see how he comes out. I still don't see him winning, even if he gets to the final 3. That's why I have him all the way down at 10, because the other people I have ahead of him, I think if they hit final 3 against Culpepper, they beat him. And I think that they might not have as good of a chance as Culpepper to get to the end, but I could still see all of them getting to the end for one reason or another.
Mm-hmm. I see what you're saying.
I get that.
And 6 of my final 8 are women. So I think this is going to be much like fans versus favorites, where a lot of the returnee seasons they're normally won by women, except for
it's not One World.
Well, with the exception of Caramoan. Well, it's not going to be like One World. You're good with that. But with the exception of Caramoan, they've all the returnee seasons like a woman has won, and I think it's going to happen again. Well, I guess Tyson too. I lied about that, but whatever.
I have a good amount of women down here too.
Yeah,
it's pretty even. Now that
I've got 3 out of 8 are men. Yeah.
All right, am I up? I don't know who's up.
Anybody can go. We're all on number 8.
Well, yeah,
I'm at number 8.
I have Ozzy, and I already talked about Ozzy. I have him at 8. If he gets to the end, he can win. I really think he can. So it's about getting to the merge, which I think he'll be able to do since he is the provider and he'll help the tribe win challenges. And then it's going to be like you keep saying, like 15th to 10th is like where Ozzy is going to go. If he gets by 10, I don't know. He could do it.
He could.
Yeah.
But I just don't think it happens.
Yeah, I get that. I'm at. Are we all at number 8 now?
Yeah.
All right. For number 8, I have Mr. Brad Culpepper.
Yeah.
Asked me a month ago, he probably would have been number 20. I didn't know why he was cast. I was annoyed he got cast. But if he makes it and wins, I think that'd be a really good arc over all of his seasons. I hope he's been humbled. I'm not entirely sold on him, but he sounds like someone who, in this group really, and I don't like to use the word second chance, but really could take advantage of his next chance here. And you know what? I think he'll do okay. I don't know if he'll win. I don't think he could win in every single situation he's in the final tribal council, but I don't see him losing every single time he's in the final tribal council.
Well, exactly why I have him at 10, because I think he beats some people if he's in the final 3 with them. Mm-hmm. Like, depending on how his game goes. And honestly, I hated that he was on the ballot for second chances. The more we talk about him and the more you think about like Blood vs. Water and how much he actually can change for the better, because it even happened in that season. He started changing.
He can change the game.
It really
could be a game changer.
Could be good.
Yeah, he brought a lot to that season. You see why casting and production like him,
I'm also my 8 through 1, my remaining survivors. I don't even have reasons for why they could win. I more have reasons why they couldn't not win, and I think Brad definitely falls into that.
Mm-hmm. Interesting way to say that.
Reverse psychology on that.
Well, I'll
my
just
number
go
8
in here. I'll just interrupt you. I have Brad. So let's tie a bow up on Brad preseason talk. As high as we are on Brad, I have him at 8. Alexa, you have him at 8, right? And Phil has him at 10.
Correct.
So none of us have him in the top tier of actually winning this game, but he does fare better than we originally thought. So I guess that's kind of the point to be made. Chances of making
Will, you
the
had
final...
him at 8 or 7? You had Ozzy at 8.
Oh, so fine, 7. I think his chances of making a final 3 are extremely high, and we've talked about that enough. So we'll see. We'll see how Brad does. Who does he really need to sit next to win? I guess it depends on their games, but it would. I don't know. It will be hard for Brad to win the more you look at the cast.
Yeah. The only reason I wanted to jump you is my number 8 is Suri, and we already talked about Suri a lot. I don't know. I have her the highest.
Terrible pick.
I have
That's
the
like a
highest
Hail Mary. Yeah.
Is that worse than me picking her for my fantasy draft, though?
No, this is probably better because he's kind of going against the grain, which is how you're going to probably win this game. I didn't really think about that. You want to pick someone that everyone has low that you can, if they do end up winning, playing the odds a little bit. She's probably 25 to 1, yeah.
Because really, like, my people from, like, Sari back to, like, JT, I think they could all win, but I don't think any of them have that good of a chance to win. So I was like, putting Sari at 8 isn't going to kill me. One, I think that if she can hit the merge, she could really go far in this game. And she really could. And who knows, at the beginning, you get a couple puzzle challenges and Sari wins them, for her tribe and doesn't go to tribal. When this splits to 3 tribes, if they don't go to tribal, why can't Sari go deep?
Yeah, she's going to have to end up on one of those tribes that just doesn't lose when it's at 3 tribe stage.
Yeah.
Which could happen.
And I think that's very possible.
But then she gets to the merge, and it's like, yeah, she's not going to win immunities over you, but you don't want to sit next to her at the end. She can sway people in your alliance, even if you're in an alliance with her.
But everybody is threatening.
True.
I think at that point, everybody's going to be so threatening. Why is Sari more threatening than everybody else? And I really could, like, at that point, if she's at final 10 or 11, 8 of those people are going to be threats.
Mm-hmm. No, I hear you. I like this pick better than Alexa's pick. Sorry, Alexa. I know I'm supposed to kind of, be nice to you this whole time, this podcast especially.
Yeah, it's fine. You were nice at the beginning, so I'll take it.
That's good. I'll be nice at the end, too.
Yeah.
All right. Should we move on? Okay.
Well, you and me both have 7 left, Alexa. We both do.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Will already said it. I have Troyzan at number 7, and I thought I was going to have him a little higher, but I think, he kind of falls into the same bucket of he's definitely not an early threat. I really, really think he's going to make the merge. Same as Brad. I think he'll learn from One World. I think he was dealt a bad hand in One World. He seems fairly likable. He seems pretty cognizant of how to play the game. I think he'll be pretty popular because he's not an immediate threat, but he'll definitely help out in challenges. I think his fatal flaw will be he probably will be pretty strong in immunity challenges, and if he goes on an immunity run and if he loses one, I think he's in trouble.
Yeah,
okay.
I think that's a bad pick.
Okay.
Is it bad or is it terrible? Or is it miserable?
Well, you know what it is? I'm sure Alexa comes into this and knows, kind of like with me with Brad, she's going to have to put Troyzan at either 1 or 2 in order to and to win this game if Troyzan wins. Because that's where I'm going to have him, or you're going to have one of us going to have him high based on how we've talked about him all preseason. So it's really not a bad thing to put him at 7 to go against the grain a little bit, like Will said. So Alexa, that's your reasoning, right?
Yeah, I'm just trying to change things up, keep people on their toes, obviously.
Yeah.
But the thing is, only the winner matters, I guess. So
yeah,
I mean,
I guess I don't see
crazy.
him winning. I guess I don't love him as a winner. That's why I can't really have him any higher.
Yeah, I guess we're doing this for the sake of the fantasy game, like who has the winner ranked the highest in their winner chance rankings. But it's also a good kind of final thought before we hit the season, because if you think about it, a lot of these picks won't matter at all if you two already have someone somewhere, haven't said somebody yet. I don't know. Anyway, are we done with 7? We're done with 7,
I have
right?
7.
Okay,
I'm the first one to mention. I have Malcolm. I've said this a lot, but I think Malcolm's the type. I think his only chance to win was Philippines. I think he's the type of guy who always hits the merge, always does fairly well. Never going to get a chance to plead his case to the jury.
Yeah, and if he does plead his case, though, it'll probably be a pretty good one.
And he'll probably win. That's why I'm at 7.
Right. Now, I was defending you as having him so high. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree.
Yeah. So 6, I don't know who wants to jump. I could do it if you want. I have Sarah.
I have Sarah at 6 also, so we can tag team Sarah.
All right, talk about Sarah.
She's one of these players that's going to make it far, right? Like that's kind of my mindset with Sarah, is that we know she's going to likely make the merge. She doesn't have a target on her back pretty much at all compared to a lot of this cast. So she's going to get far. It's just whether Sarah is going to be. You've said she might be the villain, she might be the winner. I mean, I don't know. Once we get deep into the game, how is Sarah actually going to play? She's never been that far. She's never been close to winning. How do people like her? Has she changed her social game? I mean, I don't really know. So it's someone like I got to put her high because I think she'll be there in the end, and she does have a chance to win. It's kind of like Michaela. Like I know she'll be there. I just don't know really how other players will receive it.
And that's where I am on Sarah as well. I completely agree with that. Just because she'll be there. We saw her get played by Tony, but she knew he was a cop right away. She played it pretty well. She just got a little cocky. She was also on like one of the meanest seasons we've ever had in terms of players who are just villains. And like she got like bamboozled. And I think she'll figure it out a little bit on this one. But I don't know if she's going to come out too aggressive and rub people the wrong way, or if she's going to come out and actually play a good social game. For me, I feel like it's going to be a little aggressive, but I don't know enough about it to put her that low. And I think 6 is a good spot for her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had Sarah at number 5. I really
what were you thinking? What?
You jerks have her at number 6.
No, I know. That's the joke.
If only I put Sari at number 1, just for the look on your face.
That's going against the grain right there.
That's really going against the grain. Yeah, I don't have a good read on her. You guys gave a pretty good reasoning for Sarah. She hasn't sold me. I have her so high for someone who I really don't think is going to win, which is
just because you know she's going to be there. You know she's going to be in the mix, right?
I think she's going to sit there. So that's why I have a number 5. Going backwards at number 6, I have Malcolm. Again, someone I didn't think I would put this high because I think he's a huge threat. But Will, I think you said this. I know we're each other. He is going to be very discreet, and I think that will really work in his favor.
Alexa, dude, get the Ethernet cable real bad.
Oh, no.
It's coming. She will have an Ethernet.
It's happening. I'm sorry. All my room. Malcolm 6, calming presence. I think he can be discreet.
Cool.
Love it.
I'm sorry, my roommates are asleep, so I can't be near can't be out in the family room, but Ethernet is en route.
Yes, it will happen. It's going to be good. Well, that was a great reason that was cut off by terrible Wi-Fi. Number 5.
Well, if you like our show, you probably are used to that.
Yeah. Hey, guess what, guys? We're going back to the old days. Alexa, the terrible internet person. It's back to original old school Phil and Will.
That's right.
Who doesn't love that? My number 5, I have Michaela. And Will, I think you and me are going to end up with the same top 4, aren't we?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I actually
anyway,
think so.
I think we do. But I have Michaela. Don't know. I just don't know. But I don't think she's going to be as much of the Russell factor. I also think that Michaela is so good at challenges and so competitive and loyal that I think that she can get really far in this game. And if she gets to the end, I think people will respect her enough because of how strong she is. And maybe she does ride coattails. We didn't see enough of her to ever really get a read on her. So I got her at 5 kind of as like a safe play.
Okay. Yeah. Again, you could put Michaela anywhere. You could make an argument. Like, she's not going to fit in because she's new and is loud. She's going, in my bottom 5. She could challenge beast. She could win. I don't know. It will be fun to see Michaela play with like these Survivor legends, like my number 5, who is Sierra Dawn Thomas. And
Survivor legend Sierra Dawn Thomas.
That's right. And she got 5th place in Worlds Apart, so I figure let's put her 5th place and her chances to win. The thing for Sierra, if she wants to win, she's got to change the game. She's gonna have to actually be a game changer to win game changers. A lot of these people I don't think have to. I think if Sandra gets to the end, if she does nothing at all and gets to the end and just relies on her previous reputation, she can still win the million. And I think that is possible for a lot of these players. Sierra, she is actually going to have to play really hard, and that's why I'm like, okay, I got her at 5 on here just because I know she can get far. We've seen her get far. She is likable. She would have won against Dan and Will in the final 3, who were in the final – wait, no, Dan went 6. Anyway, she was right in at the end of Worlds Apart. She's going to have to make some big moves. Going to have to change the game up, but it's possible. And, again, it's kind of like Sarah. She'll be in the mix at the end, I feel like, or at least top 10. So,
and that's kind of how I feel with my final 4. I feel like they're all going to have to change the way they played the first time in order to win, like except for maybe one of them, because I don't think that anybody really respected their gameplay all that much the first time. And so if they play the same exact game, they're not going to win. Moves, it's just like, okay, who cares what they did the last? Like Kelly Wentworth, if she didn't go against Jeremy, she wins. So if she goes against Jeremy, she probably loses. But if she goes against anybody else, she wins. And what did she really do the first time? Nothing. So, it's a whole new game. At my number 4, I have Haley. Thought I would end up with her as my winner pick preseason. Ended up not going with her. I still love Haley. I know, question marks all over the place. What are we going to get from Haley? I don't know. But I don't see her going that early. And I want to play it safe with her. So I got her 4.
Yep. I think a lot of these are coming down to just these are people we think will be deep in the game. Whether they can win or not, that's yet to be seen. We don't know how they're going to change the game. So it's kind of the same thing for a lot of these players.
Yeah. So who do you guys got it for?
I have Sierra Dawn Thomas at number 4, I think, and then Haley's right above her at number 3. They're, I think they'll be there. I think they'll get there. I think they'll probably be in an alliance that will not, I don't like to say the word carry. I think they'll be in a strong alliance and they will end up there. But I think in order to win Final Tribal, they'll need a pretty compelling argument. And based on what I've read, Haley's hilarious. She doesn't even know why she's there. And I think that's super funny. But I don't really know what their game plan is going in. And so that's why I'm a little unsure of how they can win. Getting there, not a problem. Winning, I'm unsure. But because I think they'll get there, that's why I have them so high.
Right. And I think if any of these people are unsure of what they need to change for their own games to win, like the theme of the season hits it over their head. These players like Sierra, Sarah, Haley, like they're not going to be like, what do I need to do to, actually get to the end and win? It's written right in front of you. Jeff's going to be yelling it all season, big moves, big moves, big moves. They're all likable enough. I think they're sociable enough. So I kind of group them together. Am I at number 4 now? My turn, right?
Yeah.
I have Malcolm. It's because if he gets to the end, he does win.
Yeah, pretty much
I think this is the furthest person. This is the furthest person I could say if Aubrey gets to the end, she has a good shot at winning. Or Sari, Sandra, Tom. If they get there, they'll definitely win. A lot of those people I had high up because they're such big threats. But I think Malcolm's right in the middle where, yeah, he's a big threat, but he's not on that top tier. So if he can get by the first, kind of get him to a strong alliance, win some immunities, I can see Malcolm winning this game. Absolutely, I can. So I got him at 4.
Yeah, I think that's, Malcolm is a tough one. He's definitely like the most honest. Like I feel like out of all like the strong guys, he's not the best at challenges. He's not the best socially. He's not the best strategically. He's just kind of, where's he going to fit this time?
Could he be a game changer, change his own game, and win game changer?
I don't know. Well, maybe.
That's pretty deep.
Yeah. You hit me there.
We'll see.
At my number 3, I have Sierra Dawn Thomas. So that's all I have to say about Sierra Dawn Thomas. Who do you have at 3, Will?
At 3, I have Andrea. It's because this is another player where if she gets to the end, she's going to have done a lot and played hard, played strategically. People already know her as a strategic threat. I remember saying this in Millennials vs. Gen X. If Adam gets to the end and has a final tribal council opportunity, he's not going to have to, sell people that he was playing strategically and playing the game hard. He was doing that throughout, and though he did have mistakes, and, we got to talk to him, obviously, and he explained them, but that was always clear that if Adam got to the end, they would buy his game. And that's the same thing with Andrea. If Andrea gets to the end, no one can say, Andrea, oh, you just wrote coattails. I really don't think that's the case. And maybe something can happen with Tasha in Cambodia where she was a really strong player in Cagayan, and then it seemed like she just rode coattails in Cambodia. That could happen, but I think Andrea is a very hard player, and she's someone else where if she gets to the end, I think her chances of winning are pretty darn high. I think most people like her, so I got her at 3.
I have her higher than you, Will. I think me and Alexa have her at the same spot. I have her at 2.
I have her at number 2 as well.
Yeah, so we both have her at 2. I did the same thing because I got burned. I said Tony was going to be the first boot of Cagayan. He goes on and wins. I said Aubrey's going to be the first boot of Korong. She goes on, gets second place. I said Rodney was going to be one of the first boots of Worlds Apart. He gets 4th place. Mm-hmm. So I'm sitting here. Andrea. Oh, and then Michelle last year. I hated Michelle preseason. I put her at number 6 because I was like, I'm not getting burned again.
Don't say last year because that
season.
Yeah, last season. There you go. Just get covered.
Oh, God, yeah, no, not Michelle. Not Michelle Fitzgerald. Come on. So number 2, I go Andrea because like if she wins, at least I get something out of it. I don't dislike her as much as now I have to play it
now
up.
if Andrea wins, I get nothing.
No, you get nothing. And that's the same thing. If Sarah wins, Alexa wins. Like you and me get nothing.
This is a kind of a silly game.
It's stupid.
We should have gone from the top down. I think we went the wrong way. We should have gone.
No, we went the right way. Reveal your winner last.
Yeah, I think for suspense and fun on the podcast wise, but now I'm thinking of actually doing this game. We should have gone top down. Anyway, it is what it is.
You're not confident in your winner pick then, Will?
Oh, I'm not at all. And I'll just run through mine. So again, I'll tell this story. I think I've mentioned it once. So one of our fans, T-Rex, he messaged us on Twitter asking if Phil and I wanted to participate in his fantasy pool that he does with some friends and maybe some family. And everyone just gets one person, and whoever's person wins the pool. And we were like, great, that sounds awesome. Some people had already been picked, and there was probably about 10, half the cast remaining. And Phil jumps and picks Haley. And I'm like, damn, I would have probably taken Haley. And then I look at the remaining players, and I say, oh, wow, Troyzan's still available. I'm going to take Troyzan. And Troyzan was the guy that I was like, that's going to be my winner pick. We go into the fantasy draft. I take him number 1 overall. And then out of nowhere, I think like a podcast after that, maybe it was the prop bet game, the bootless game. Phil's like, I got Troyzan number 1. He's winning. He's my winner pick. All this stuff. And Phil just totally snagged my winner pick from me. Like, you can read the text where I picked Troyzan in this little game with T-Rex. But because he stole my pick, I'm going to steal his pick. So I got Troyzan at number 2. I got Haley at number 1. Haley is my winner pick this season. I'm a big fan of Haley. I was a big fan of her in Worlds Apart. I hope she turns up her game a little bit. It seems like she's aware to that she is actually going to, she wants to be me. It seems like that's what she wants to do. So I got her at number 1. I'll be rooting for her. Probably if it's Tony and Haley in the end, I'll definitely still be rooting for Tony. But Haley's right up there. One of the more likable people. She's super cute. Maybe get her on the show, and I can say you were my winner pick, and Phil will just be rolling his eyes because it was Phil's original winner pick. But that's what happens when you steal winner picks, Phil.
Hey, and when Troyzan wins, and he's super cute, and he comes on, and I say you were my winner pick, and you roll your eyes.
Oh, I won't roll my eyes. I'll jump in and interrupt you, and I'll tell the same story. And everyone's like, Will, we've heard you tell the story 3 times now.
But here you are stealing. You're stealing my winner pick, so I understand why it's okay.
Well, you stole mine. I mean, I don't want to say, oh, I got Troyzan too, and then we have to. You can't have the same winner pick. We did it.
Mr. Steelio girl. Did you do it?
All that I have caught from the past 10 minutes of you guys arguing is that Phil just referred to Troyzan as cute.
He is. He is pretty cute.
He's so dreamy.
He is, and I'm gonna say the reason I ended up changing from Haley to Troyzan. Haley seems like the lock to like get there. Like she's gonna go deep. Like girls like her normally on these types of seasons, they go deep.
You don't have to sound at Troyzan, dude. He was my winner pick.
No, but I'm saying why I changed my mind. Like why I ended up changing.
Yeah, you talked to me. That's why you changed.
No,
your
it
mind.
isn't. It isn't.
You listen to my thoughts. It's like what you were saying earlier. We talk so much, the thoughts morph into one, and we kind of have the same thoughts. It's because you heard me talk about Troyzan and how much I thought where his position in this tribe in the season is really good because he's strong. He's not too strong. He's social. He's not too much of a social threat. You don't really remember him. He's capable. He's strategic. He loves the game. He has the will to win. He wants it so badly. So
he almost had the will too. Like it seems like you're in love with him.
He almost had the will, but now he gets the Phil.
Let me tell real quick. Let me just say, I don't think anybody out here is more pumped to play right now than Troyzan. And I know Tony is super pumped, and I know they're all pumped. But Tony won. Sandra won. Sari played 3 times. Troyzan played the first time. Didn't play a bad game and got destroyed. And I think since that season, if they would have said come back for 25, he was ready. He was going to be on 26, I'm pretty sure, and Malcolm took his spot. Like, I know he was ready to be on second chances. He has had so many missed opportunities. He cannot wait to get there. And I think he is going to play a similar game to he did in One World, but he's going to keep his mouth shut a lot more because in the end, him trusting people who were stupid is why he lost. Not because he did something stupid, because he trusted stupid people. And I think that's why I go Troyzan over Haley, because I see Haley getting to the end, but did she get dragged or did she play to win? Troyzan, if he gets there, he's playing to win and he's winning.
I mean, yeah.
That's a very good argument.
So I mean, yeah.
I feel better. Alexa, you're the last one.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm okay. My number 2 is Andrea. For reasons XYZ. My number 1, and I suppose my winner pick. I've never picked a winner before, so bear with me. I'm going with Michaela, and I was super unsure of this. She kind of fell into it, but I've been high on her for a while. I really like her, and I'm honestly, when I was picking her, my reasoning was similar to, Will, I'm about to throw you way under the bus here. When Will put Millennials vs. Gen X as his number 1 season, he asked the question, and I'm asking this now, what more do you want? She's a challenge beast. She'll help you win team immunity. She can win individual immunity. She's super likable. She's unknown. She's not a major threat. I hope that hope and think she will coast at the beginning, tone it down, and then spring up later. What more do you want? I think she can do really well.
I mean, I think what more do you want? I think that's a good way to phrase an argument. So,
I'm throwing you under that. That was throwing you under the bus strictly because of the backlash we got for putting Millennials vs. Gen X in number 1.
Okay.
Which was Will's fault.
Which is completely Will's fault.
Because it was Alexa's fault because if Alexa had Amazon 1 spot higher, then Amazon would have been. It's all our faults, guys.
It's not my Survivor history. So
if you had Millennials vs. Gen X at like 6th instead of 5th, then Amazon would probably be number 1.
Sorry, I have a reasonable top 5, not a ridiculous one like you two.
I mean,
all right, this is not what we're supposed to be arguing about.
It's your fault.
Anyway, I see what you're saying about Michaela. The only thing is, I think that I said this before. She did not get to see her game in Millennials vs. Gen X, that great season, number 1 season. She didn't get to see that on TV. She didn't get to see it air. She didn't get to see the confessionals about her, about what people were thinking. She didn't get to see the seashell moment. And she said at the reunion of Millennials vs. Gen X that it all clicked for her once she saw that seashell scene. Holy smokes.
That was good. You got through that smooth.
Sierra sells seashells.
She saw the seashell scene. That was good.
She saw the seashells.
Yes,
yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah.
So the point
that's a very good
point. She didn't know what she was doing to get voted out. So that worries me. But look, I have her, 10th or 8th? Or I have her, I mean, she has a chance. She can do it.
But I think with who Michaela's playing with, she won't even be able to put seashells down. I think there's other people will take the lead, and she will naturally fall into a little more of a, not middle tier member of an alliance, but I don't think she will very clearly come out as the leader of an alliance with like Tony and Aubrey. I just do not see that happening. So she won't have an opportunity to see seashells on the seashore.
We're just going to keep rolling with this. We're going to rename the podcast the Seashells on the Seashore Survivor.
Well, yeah, name it something, right?
Something.
At least for, game changers.
We already have it. I got the name. Don't worry.
I know. It's Phil and Philin.
It's Phil and Philin. That's a great name.
Phil and Phil.
Yeah. Shout out to Blake. We
Phil
don't
and Philin.
watch us. One
and
of our friends.
If Alexa can't do it, then it can be, still Phil and Philin. And
it's like I didn't even lose anymore. I just lost Phil and one.
Yeah. And then and then when I come back, I can be like, it's still Phil and Philin.
It's the Phil show. Let's be real.
It's the Phil show.
It's just Phil.
It's always
Phil
been
sells
just
seashells
Phil
by
show.
the seashore.
Yeah, we all know.
That was smooth. Okay.
But that's it. We did all our 20, huh? We did our ranking.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to do comments like one last time for a bit of time?
Yeah, let's do it.
We don't have many, but Will, are you on Twitter?
No, I pay attention to what you guys are saying. I don't read the live chat. I'm not on Twitter.
You're on Twitter, so you can read Gamer Girl's comments because that would make her the happiest person ever.
Okay. Let me get there.
You're leaving us for a season, dude. You gotta read her comments. She gets mad when I read her. So.
Okay. All All right. Well, you can read something else until I get it loaded up.
Okay, yeah. So Alexa, this is going to be you and me now. You're gonna have to be a little more ruthless because Will likes to like rip in, and I know you're like a pretty good person. It doesn't really go into your natural life, but you're gonna have to like fake it a little bit.
I can definitely be ruthless. I think when it's the three of us, I try to just hang back, let you guys duke it out, and then say something super down the middle. But maybe since Will's gone, maybe in his honor, I'll just argue with you about every single point you have to make.
Even when they're not even when you don't have a good argument, you just argue it because like what the hell, right?
That's not true.
I can get loud too.
I agree with you more than I would like to, Phil. I would like to argue with you more. I often agree.
And I don't know how often you agree with him, Will.
It happens.
Yeah.
It's just because agreements don't take long. It doesn't take up airtime. So if there's 20 things, and I agree with Phil on 15 of them, that's quick. Yeah, I agree. But arguments, you go back and forth for so long. So even if it's 5 out of 15 or 5 out of 20, that's 25% of things we disagree on. It might eat up 80 to 90% of the airtime because that's what's interesting. And
here's what's happening. Will is trying to make an argument about not arguing because would you load Twitter? Would you just load Twitter?
It's loaded. What am I? I'm starting with Gamer Girl since it's an all returning season. Do you think they'll show the intro during the premiere like they did in the Cambodia? Well, this is the introologist, so I think that's probably, she's better to answer that than me, right?
Yeah, we should ask
her what she thinks. I think they'll show up for the first one. I think, haven't they been doing that with other seasons or no?
No, they only did it for Second Chance.
No.
I love the whole intro.
Beforehand.
I mean, yeah, it'll be on the internet somewhere.
Yeah.
Somewhere on the internet.
Okay, another one from Gamer Girl. Why do a lot of the cast and crew think that all these people are game changers? They're obviously not all game changers. Well, it's just because they got to promote the show and sell it. And that's the theme. And, you want probably Earl and Danny to come back. But they're like, what? There's only going to be 2 other winners. And we have these people that are kind of on the fence about, I don't know. I don't know how it works. But
if Earl and Danny ever came back, I would be pretty darn excited.
Yeah. And then, do you think Varner will get screwed by the 3 tribes swap again? He could, if he's there, which I think he will be. I hope he will. I don't see Varner being like the first boot or anything. So it's in God's hands at that point.
I kind of agree. Like Varner could easily get screwed by that again because if his tribe goes down like 1 or 2 in numbers, he's so weak. They might want to be like, okay, we need to win a challenge. There's a lot of really decent or really great strategists.
Oh my gosh. No.
Now I'm just joking. There's a lot of really good strategists on this season. And like there's a lot of weak challenge players. So like Varner isn't necessarily going to be the weakest on his tribe, but if they lose 1 or 2, they might just boot him.
Yeah, in the 3 tribes.
But realistically,
like
should never be a point where he's the weakest.
Right. I mean, but we were saying like how I keep saying with Suri, like if it gets to 3 tribes and her tribe loses, it's a great time to get rid of Suri. That's also a great time to get rid of Varner.
Mm-hmm. So, true.
It's true again. Yeah. All right, Phil, you gonna read any of these? Or?
John Kenny asked, "How do we access live podcasts?" Did we tweet it? I don't think we did.
Oh, bummer.
Oh.
I mean,
we normally tweet the link. We didn't this time. The person who controls like the dashboard thing is the one who has to tweet the link.
Yeah.
Sorry. I was about to say, who is that, Phil?
Well, it'll be me from now on.
There's 3 of us here.
Anyway, but Will's normally very good about that. We all forgot this time. We kind of let you down there. Then we got Gamer Girl last time. Another one. So anyway, do you think Ozzy will have a showmance this season? He had 2 with Amanda and Alexis in Micronesia and then 1 in South Pacific.
Wait, which one are you reading? I'm reading Giovanni's. Do you think Ozzy and Sierra will hook up and make out more than Figgy and Taylor and Ozzy and Amanda?
Which Sierra?
Don Thomas.
But no, Gamer Girl and Giovanni asked the same question back to back.
It's not showing up on my feed.
Wow. But do you think Ozzy's going to have enough time?
I think
Ozzy's
He's focused. I don't think he's now. Yeah, he's not going to let that get to him.
Yeah, he's grown.
He's a grown man now.
Mm-hmm.
Something we didn't talk about at all.
Yeah,
the new twist.
How?
Yeah, You know,
Well, say what it is, Will.
Oh, so if you don't know, there's no tie votes. So, or you can tie, but then it goes straight to rocks, essentially. I mean, they have the whole, if you can all unanimously decide, then that person will go home, but that never happens. So essentially, it's trying to get rid of split votes. I see what they were doing here. Like, split votes is so predictable. It happens all the time. It's pretty easy to do. So they're trying to say, hey, look, don't split the votes, or you have to split them unevenly, and then the minority can toss one vote if they know how they're being split and force a tie, then rocks. I like the concept. I just worry going to rocks immediately is pretty drastic. So I could see it maybe kicking someone out that doesn't really deserve it. And I don't know. I like the idea of like stepping up the game and putting pressure on these people. And if you're going to put a twist in Game Changers, I think this is like it's a good one to experiment with like returning players. I don't think you would put this in like a new season. So, because we'll see what these people have played before, they know how strategy works. They'll like they'll figure out how to use it. So I'm looking forward to that.
I think it's a good idea. I just think if you go to rocks once every now and then is great because it's exciting and it's different and it's something you're not used to. If you do it too much, then it becomes a problem. And if they do it more than like if they like once it happens the first time, I'm assuming people are gonna be like, forget this, like we can't do it. But you don't want it to happen like three times a season.
Yeah, and even when it happens once in a season, that's too many times. Like it shouldn't.
Like Jessica for no reason.
Yeah, I mean, and not that I don't like rocks, but what I'm saying is we had 3 rock draws over 33 seasons. That's 1 in 11 seasons. And that's why when it happens, it's such a big moment. It's huge. And so when you're increasing the chance of that happening, it takes away from it. And I know we're going to be looking like years down the line at like Survivor 60, and we're ranking seasons somehow, ranking 60 seasons. And you know, millennials versus Gen X will get tossed in. Well, that was the rock draw era where everyone was drawing rocks left and right. And no, millennials versus Gen X had a genuine rock draw that they had to revote on. So I'm just defending that before, 10 years happens.
Yeah, I really do not want rocks to become the norm. I don't think they'll ever become the norm. But because of how rarely they've happened in the past, I think once every 3 seasons is too much, because when you go to rocks, if I draw a rock and go out, it's not that it's not your fault, but it's not a true vote out. What makes Survivor great is people getting voted out, why they get voted out, their reactions to getting voted out. And with rocks, it takes away so much of that. And I'm glad they're doing it on a return season, a season full of returnees who have played the game before and are super strategic. I think they'll find a way to make it interesting, but I don't know. I think it'll really work for this season, but on an all newbie season, I wouldn't be too interested. But Jeff Jeff has been pretty open about it, saying, if this doesn't work, I'm always open to switch back. So I appreciate that about the rule change.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It's like these people are returning, they're playing, they want to win so badly. Like you're listening to people on pre-games, they want this so badly. They're not going to want to go to rocks. They're not going to let that happen. I mean, maybe Sierra wants to go when she's in the minority, but I guess that's the only thing you fear is that the minority is going to try to get the tie because the odds will be totally in their favor. That's your idol right there. If you don't have one, just force a tie. So, I mean,
that's like exactly what happened.
It's more
exactly what happened the first time.
Yeah, it's more to talk about though. It's interesting. It's like a mix-up.
Yeah. I'm interested. I mean, we'll see how it plays. Like Alexa said, I'm happy it's on a returning season and not newbies because I don't want to see newbies go out there.
I said that first, actually. Just letting you know.
Was it you? Whatever.
Alexa also she was correct.
That's fine.
I was thinking it, but Phil was. I mean, I was thinking it, but Will was talking, so Will gets the credit.
That's fine. I could tell Alexa was thinking it. But I don't want to see like newbies go out that way. I don't like returning players. I still don't want to see them go out that way, but I don't feel as bad for them because they've already played.
Okay. Yeah, I see it too.
Yeah.
I know.
All right, where are we?
I think we're on. Let's see here. Okay, so Giovanni asks a kind of interesting question here. Which players do you think will try to play like the winner of their seasons? For example, Spencer tried to play like Tony in season 31.
Really?
Well, played like Tony. He said he did play like Tony. Maybe. But Philip playing like Boston Rob, like it happens. Do you think anybody actually
it's a lot of people to go through. That could be a separate podcast, honestly. Maybe we should do that one.
Well, if Sandra continues to play the way that her winners have played, I think she'll do okay. How's that?
Yeah.
That's good. I mean, I can't imagine Aubrey wouldn't try to play like Michelle.
I
think those are two very different games, though. You'd have to, if you're going to mimic your winner, you'd have to already have a similar disposition to them.
It's
like Brad and Tyson.
It's almost too interesting.
Brad and Tyson.
I like that one.
Okay, yeah, that could be a good one.
Troy, Zan, and Kim.
Yeah, that one, yeah.
Yeah, that he'd crush it.
And then, Haley is actually rumored to win 5 immunities in a row and win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And align with like the least likable alliance ever.
Brad's not a part of it.
That is a really good question. That's actually pretty interesting. But that would just take way too long. Henry Alford. Last all returnee season, the shielding strategy was prevalent. Could the big threats work together to make a run this time?
I hope so.
That would be so much fun.
And there's so many of them. You got to think that's got to be the mindset for a lot of these players. And unfortunately, you see these Instagrams from Dalton Ross, people doing their pregame vote outs. You have big threats writing down Tony's name. It's like, why? Why are you doing? Like, you should keep Tony. If you're Malcolm, you should want Tony in the game. If you're JT, you should want Tony. You want Tony around to take bullets later in the game. So we'll see how it goes. I don't have high hopes for Tony, but I'm rooting for him.
Yeah, that would be – I still think that's the smartest thing that they can all do is just say, okay, we have to vote out – we have to stick together and vote out, the Haleys and the Sierras. I think that's the smartest thing that these big threats can do.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't know if they will. Let's see. Where's the next one? Sorry, we have Gamer Girl again. Thoughts on the premiere being the 500th episode?
500th episode.
Finally, we're hitting
Love it.
I just tried to read the end there because I think you didn't want to read it. But
well, why don't you answer it?
My thoughts on being the 500th episode, I think there's already been 500 episodes, and this is a marketing ploy, and they're not counting one of the reunions or one of the middle. Didn't we already hit 500?
So I thought it was a marketing ploy too, but when Phil locked me in a basement during the off season and forced me to watch the first 11 seasons of Survivor over the course of a month, I was on the CBS All Access app all the time, and there are 499 episodes.
Wow. I'm a good guy.
I mean, my
I thought we were going to hit it in Millennials vs. Gen X.
Well, can I tell you why they didn't, Will? I actually know the answer to this.
Oh, okay. Go for it.
They don't count the recap episodes anymore. They used to count them. So in reality, the recap episodes, and they used to do Back from Africa and Back from the Beach or something like that. They aren't counting those anymore. So because of that, they've actually had more than 500 episodes. They're probably around like 510, 511, 512, somewhere in there. But they no longer count those. So just straight episodes of Survivor, including the reunions, it's at $4.99.
Okay, I like that then. And that sounds very, it's still good. It's good marketing, but it seems more, it's honest too. That's good. I like it.
Thank you.
What would be your dream? This is from Benji Hudson. What would be your dream final 3 and what would be your nightmare final 3? I'll take this one. It would be Tony, probably Haley, and Brad.
That's your dream final 3.
I don't dream about it at night or anything, but
how is Haley in your dream?
Well, how's Brad in my dreams?
Haley's very enthusiastic about Haley.
Haley's in my dreams. I don't know. Those are like the people I'm probably rooting for the most here, those 3. So I want to see them get to the end. If you're talking about what's like, oh my gosh, let's put like Cerise, Sandra, and Tony, like, yeah, that'd be cool. But then 2 of them are losers,
So that's what I was going to say. My dream would be some form of Cirie Sandra Tony, but because I want Cirie to win so badly, it involves Cirie and two people.
Exactly. That's why I want it to be
Debbie and Ty. My dream final three.
Cirie, Debbie, and Ty. See, that's why I said I want Tony to win, but I also really like Haley and I like Brad. So I think that's what I would like to see. See my favorites get far and my favorite win, and not have one of my legends who I really like Cirie and Sandra, lose at a final travel council.
I want Varner, Troy Zantoni.
Ooh, Varner.
Ooh,
I like replace Varner for me for Brad. So it's Tony. I mean, no one's keeping track. Doesn't matter. You guys get it.
I get it. I just think it would be great to see.
Picking up what you're putting down.
Varner, Troy Zantoni. You got Tony, who's like the huge winner. Troy Zan, who's like crazy, and then Varner, who's like, come on, like guy can't even make the jury, and I love him. So
he's great. I love Varner.
Who's your nightmare final three though?
Oh wow, nightmare. Probably Caleb.
Okay. Yeah,
Caleb and Caleb.
Yeah, I'm trying to get two other people.
Go ahead, Alexa.
My nightmare is, but you have to listen to the reasoning. My nightmare is Sierra, and Cirie, and Cirie loses because someone spelled her name wrong.
Yeah,
that's a nightmare.
That's how my nightmare happens. But Cirie loses because someone can't spell.
Who do I not
it's like? It's a nightmare. So really, Cirie and Sierra Easton at any time would be awful for you. You don't want Cirie in there with her ever.
Yeah, I need them very far away from each other.
I don't even have like a nightmare final. I feel like any final three we get this season is going to be pretty good. Like even I'm thinking of like Caleb, Sierra Dawn Thomas, and
Haley, dude, that would be a kind of boring final three.
Dude, you don't know that. There's going to be 13 episodes before that.
Preseason.
What's that?
We're talking preseason though.
Yeah, but I like Haley a lot. So if she's in the final three and wins, that's not a nightmare. If she loses,
I'll say the one.
That's not a nightmare either, because I don't expect her to win. I don't even know she's my winner pick.
Since Will won't just say, he keeps skirting the issue, I'll say Caleb, Debbie, Andrea.
Ooh.
Because I just can't throw enough shit.
Not entertainment. Caleb, everyone's entertaining though. Like even if you have Debbie would be amazing in a final travel council. That would be incredible. Like I want to see Debbie, and I'm going through these people who I not like to see. It's really hard. I'm not like I really don't know. Maybe Sarah, Sierra, and Caleb. That will be my nightmare.
There you go. Giovanni Oriana said, how come Tony can't get to the end, but Parvati did in Heroes vs. Villains? What does Tony need to do?
Did we hit this already? We talked
about it. Parvati is nowhere the threat that Tony was.
Right.
Yes, we did talk about this.
But
okay. I'm sorry.
We didn't read the question, but we actually talked very specifically about like how Parvati was able to do it. And Tony, and I'll say again, if Tony is going to win, he's going to have to win a bunch of challenges post-merge. That's even if he makes the merge, and he sucks at challenges. So it's just like, I don't know. Parvati, yeah, she won, but she was also, I don't know. She didn't win, or she didn't win Heroes vs. Villains, right? Like, and she was surrounded by such big people in that season, even bigger than Game Changers. So,
beyond Game Changers.
Oh, beyond, way beyond.
Yeah. T-Rex says he met Sandra at an open call over a year ago, and she's awesome in person. I would imagine Sandra would be pretty cool.
Yeah,
that no surprise. I would totally hang out with Sandra.
I know we said we weren't going to read podcast ones, but Jack Linehan says, going to miss Will on his break, but Lexa Dexter is more than capable to replace him.
Oh, you threw my Twitter name out there.
Lexa Dexter. Yeah, go follow Lexa
Dexter. Throw a follow to @Lexa Dexter.
And iTunes reviews.
Lots of iTunes reviews. Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Jack. I'm super excited. Obviously, I'm sad that Will's going, but if it means more arguing with Phil, I am honored to take on the challenge.
Yeah, arguing with Phil's fun. It's almost too easy sometimes. Like, you make such dumb points. All right, I'll be nice.
Were you guys talking about me? So,
were
wait, what are you
you
guys talking about?
listening?
Were you reading the live chat or something, dude? Ooh.
No. What?
You just weren't paying attention. Okay,
Huh?
I think we got to wrap this up.
There's one more comment. Are you not going to read it?
No, I didn't
Lacey
see
Hudson. Whose legacy do you think will be destroyed the most by this season? This is the last comment.
I'm gonna say.
Good question.
I'm gonna say somebody like. It's not gonna be Sandra or Tony because there's such big difference. Okay, yeah, go for it, Alexa.
I think I'm gonna go with Caleb. Not that he had a crazy, insanely good reputation his first go round, but he got a hero edit because he almost died. And from what we've heard, he isn't much of a hero. So I think a lot of people's perceptions of Caleb will severely change after this season, and I don't really see anyone else who will have that big of a shift. So that's why I'm going with Caleb.
That's a good one. I would say Michaela or Zeke, just because I think you have to pick someone here who's a one-time player, they were portrayed in a certain light in whichever it was their season. I mean, you're not going to change your opinion on Ozzy or Sari or someone's going to fall like that, or Sandra. So I think Zeke and Michaela are just so recent in everybody's minds that they already have this reputation that's right in front of people. So that can change very quickly. And if it is for the worse, that change will just be, exaggerated in people's minds because it happened over such a small period of time. So probably Zeke or Michaela.
And I would say Zeke because my biggest fear for Zeke is that he goes out in the first 5 boots and we never hear from Zeke ever again, and he wasted his second shot on this season.
Yeah, like right after playing,
Yeah,
that would be really a bummer.
But the one I'll say, just to say something different than you, I will say Sierra Easton because she's got this huge moves thing going, and I think this is, if she goes out early, it's the last time we're going to see her play.
Oh yeah, I think 3 for Sierra is all right. I mean, that's already too much.
And I think like if she goes far, people might be like, oh, okay, like we would like to see Sierra again. Yeah. But if she goes early, it's like, why did she play 3 times? Because she got worse every time. And people are going to be like, that's going to be it. So I think she has the most to lose, her and Zeke.
Yeah, getting worse each time is not good.
No. That's it. So next week is the premiere of Survivor Game Changers, next Wednesday. We are going to try to go live right after the East Coast because Alexa is on the East Coast. So I'm going to stay at work, watch it, and then come home. So we'll probably be like around 10:30, 11, somewhere in there, hopefully. That's East Coast time. Time. Yeah, East Coast time.
I was about to say, I'll stay up all night for Survivor if I have to.
And it will be fill in.
That's the name.
Fill in parentheses Alexa.
For this one, we'll put like the parentheses of you every time.
TBD fill in.
Yeah, exactly. So Will, if you want to take, your last time here or whatever, if you want to say something.
It's not that last time like ever.
But it's like we're like
it is
leaving.
It does suck that it's like a returning season that that's kind of a bummer, but I got other priorities, and it's not. I'm gonna miss doing this. I love doing this. It's a lot of fun, and I hope people miss me as much as I miss doing it. That's what I hope. I don't know if that will be the case because I really do enjoy this. I enjoy arguing with Phil. I enjoy making fun of Alexa's fantasy game picks. That's kind of been a new fun thing to do. But yeah, thanks to everybody who's been listening. And if anyone's even considering not listening, because I'm sure no one's even thinking that, haven't even crossed anybody's mind, that would be foolish because I think Phil and Alexa are top tier Survivor podcasters. So definitely stick around. And I can't say it enough. You gotta go on iTunes. So you click the 5th star once. That's all you do. The link is in the description to open up the iTunes thing. But yeah,
that's it.
That's it for me. I'll probably be able to, I don't know when. I mean, who knows my schedule. I hope this isn't something where I'm like gonna be like never gonna be able to do this. That would really suck. That's not gonna happen. But I'll be back. So
he'll be back. You heard it here. To quote the Terminator.
Yeah, I'll be back. Alrighty.
There you
Anything
go.
from you guys? You guys now have, here's the torch, and Alexa, here you go.
Thank you, Will.
There's
An
a
honor.
fire.
Don't let it get snuffed.
Oh my God, my apartment is on fire.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, that's it. Yeah, we'll see you guys next week.